Welcome to another Financial Tidbit Tuesday with Tony, brought to you by Altra Federal Credit Union. This is part 3 of our informational series on credit, and today we'll be focusing on the basics of credit cards and a little bit on loans. Or as I like to call this video, try not to get too funny when using someone else's money. That was bad, I know. Credit cards have become an everyday tool for people to make purchases and manage their personal finances. But with any tool, it's important to know how to use it responsibly. Again, we should be good with our own money and using a budget before even thinking about a credit card. It's also recommended to have an emergency fund saved so that we aren't relying solely on a credit card in times of desperate need. A credit card is basically an unsecured loan that will need payment by the time the next statement is due. A credit card has a dollar limit per account up to which the cardholder and their authorized users are allowed to spend before being denied. But just because we have credit available to us doesn't mean we have to use it all. Something that makes credit cards a useful financial tool is that they have a grace period, which is the time the cardholder is not charged interest on purchases. If the balance is paid in full by the time the next statement is due, no interest will be charged and there won't be any late fees. Consumers that pay their balance on time and in full regularly are called convenience users or transactors. It's a cool name. On the other hand, cardholders that do not pay back the statement balance in full or just make the minimum payment are called revolvers. And the remaining balance will not only go on to the next statement, they'll also pick up interest on the remaining balance every month it is revolved to the next statement. Get it? Revolvers? Yep. Annual percentage rates, or APRs, which is the interest on a credit card, it can be very high. It can be more than 20%, possibly more than 30% in some cases. So if a user is regularly revolving one month to the next, they'll pay a bunch of interest and their credit standing could suffer, especially if they're using a high percentage of their card's credit limit. Cardholders are required to pay at least the minimum balance on a credit card every month to avoid missed payments and late fees. But it's always best to pay more than the minimum. Paying it in full is the best way to go to avoid interest charges, fees, and to build a better credit history. There are also additional benefits to having a credit card, again, when used responsibly. It can be a convenient payment tool, which if managed properly, can improve credit history and credit standing. It's easy to track spending online or on a mobile phone, so it can help with budgeting. It can also be useful for emergencies or when you don't want to carry around a lot of cash. Credit cards are used to hold a reservation for a hotel or to rent a car. Big ticket items can be purchased with a credit card and can be paid back over a period of time. Also, there's protection against fraudulent purchases with the credit card. By law, cardholders are only liable for $50 in fraudulent purchases. But all the card companies take care of it, so there's actually zero liability to the cardholder. Online shopping is safer with a credit card, and returns, as well as refunds, can be much less of a hassle because it's someone else's money you're using. There's also rewards like cash back, airline miles, or discounts on purchases and other perks with some cards. Credit cards may also extend the warranties or provide replacement protection on products bought with the credit card to entice users to utilize the card for purchases. With any tool, there are disadvantages to credit cards as well. Interest can be very costly when balances are not paid in full month to month. There may also be additional fees or penalties if a card is maxed out. Late payments can be incredibly damaging to a credit score and credit history. It can also be very tempting to overspend with a credit card because you're not parting with anything physical like you would be with cash. It can be easy to fall into I'll have more money in the future to pay this off mindset with a credit card. There's also the risk of identity theft, so it's best to report any fraud immediately and cancel any cards that are lost or stolen. Also, if we apply for many credit cards, not only is the average age of our accounts going to go down, but the additional inquiries will also hurt our score. It's best to only apply for a credit card, or any credit, when we really need it. There also may be additional fees for credit cards. Some cards have an annual fee, which is paid to the card issuer every year, whether the card is used or not. Cards with an annual fee typically have better rewards, cash back, or perks to get you to use the card. There are many credit cards, however, that do not have an annual fee, so do your homework and decide what's going to work best for you and your budget. We should never plan on carrying a balance on a card, but if we think that might happen in the future, it's best to go with a card that does not have an annual fee in order to save money. The rewards most likely do not outweigh what you're going to be paying in interest. Some cards may even have a teaser rate or incentives to spend so much on them initially to get rewards, airline miles, or cash back. Only consider these if you're going to pay back the balance in full by the time the promotion will end. Some credit cards may have a promotional period of rewards like 0% interest, deferred interest, or lower balance transfer rates or fees. But do your homework and read the fine print when it comes to the cards or financing plans before you sign. In some cases of a deferred interest rate of 0%, if the entire balance is not paid in full by the time the promotional period is completed, the borrower will have to pay interest on the entire original balance, not just what's remaining. So have a plan and don't spend more than you could afford. Also know that getting cash advances from a credit card can be very costly because the interest rate is higher than compared to the rate for purchases, and there's no grace period for getting cash from a credit card. Interest is charged right away. When it comes to loans, put down as much of a down payment as possible, which will lower the monthly payments and will help in being more likely to be approved for financing. It's also important to take out the loan for the shortest amount of time possible. This will reduce the interest payments on the loan. If we stretch out a loan for a longer period of time, sure, the payments may be lower, but the amount of interest paid will definitely be higher. Also, if we're able to pay just a little bit more than what our monthly payment is, do it. That will help us pay off the loan faster and pay less interest over the course of the loan. A positive loan history will help our credit standing. In our tidbit next Tuesday, we'll talk about improving credit and some basics on how to get back on track. For more information and resources on credit, visit our website at altra.org. Thank you so much for taking the time to learn more about this important topic, and have a great day. Yeah, you write something down, you got it in your head, and you think it sounds awesome, great, and then you say it out loud, and you realize it's not. That's what happened. I know that's bad. That was terrible.